Hello, my name is David, and today I'll be taking you through one of our core sessions for RCG. In RCG, we have 5 total core sessions corresponding to 5 different spheres of life at the UW. But today we'll be talking about technology at the UW. And so UW has so many different technologies, from your email to your Google Suite to lots of different free software that's available to you as a UW student. And we'll hopefully go through all of these today as an introduction to all the different technologies that UW has to offer, in hopes that by the time you get here, you'll have some more familiarity with all of these powerful tools that can help you in your university experience. Before we go on to the actual technologies, let me reframe what RCG overall is about. And so there's a quote from some wise man a long time ago, and it goes something like this: Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man how to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. The point behind this quote and why I bring it up now is I want you guys to be in the mindset of self-discovery and looking for resources on your own, developing the ability to seek out information that allows you to make informed decisions upon your own behalf. And so that's going to be very, very important, especially for a decentralized university like ours, because there's just so many resources available to you. Keeping track of all of those resources and reaching out to different departments and seeking those out for yourself is going to be a very, very powerful skill for you to have. But that aside, we'll also, over the course of RCG, be handing you a lot of different information and a lot of different skills for you to be able to do just that. I think, as you'll see throughout the course of this presentation, one of the things I'll continue to reiterate is to learn to do it yourself and to learn it just to punch it into Google and see what comes up. And more often than not, that in fact works wonderfully. Okay. Part one. We're going to go over 5 different technologies today. And so this is the first of them. And I would say this is one of the most fundamental basic ones because it is how the university sends all of its information to you. It is your UW email. And so each of you, the moment you were accepted to the university, there was a UW Net ID created for you and that you had to create for yourself. And this UW Net ID is a special account. It is an at uw.edu email account. And it can be a couple different things depending on how you want to access that information. First off, to find your account managing software, where you can manage your actual UW NetID account, you can find it through MyUW. And so if you go to MyUW, and then under quick links, it'll be on your right hand side. There'll be this bar of different links. If you go to quick links, you can click on Manage UW NetID account. And there you can also find all of these different tools and all of these different settings for you to be able to direct your email to where you want it to go. The other option is there on the left-hand panel, there will be an account link right there. And through the account link, you can also access your Manage UW NetID account. So once you click on this green square right here, the Manage UW NetID account link, it'll go to something that looks like this. You'll have all of these different options on the left-hand side. And among them, the one we're interested in right now is called UW Email Forwarding. This one right here. And so here you'll have several different options. Remember, anytime an email is sent to your at uw.edu address, there are it's stored in a repository, and there are multiple ways you can access this repository. And so the options here are, if you're a fan of Microsoft tools and you already use Microsoft Outlook, you could forward it to UW Office 365. What that does is you'll be able to access all of your UW email through Microsoft Outlook specifically. If you're familiar with Microsoft tools or you would like to get a better handle on Microsoft tools. Another option, if you're more familiar with Gmail, is you can send all of your UW email to Gmail, and you can access all of those emails that way. Both of these require you to create a separate account, or in the sense that it'll be a separate account from your personal Gmail. You'll have a Gmail or an Outlook account dedicated to everything that you receive from the UW. These are the 2 most recommended options, but you do have other options. Another option, if you want to merge your UW email and communication, with all of your personal communication, you do have the option of forwarding to your personal email. However, this is not an option that we strongly recommend, and that is because you'll get a lot of emails, especially as an incoming freshman, because all of the different departments want to give information to you about all the resources that UW has to offer. However, that's a lot of emails on you to read. In addition, as an international student, ISS will be sending you very important emails related to your visa status, your I-20, important deadlines, so on and so forth. Before you even get into the hands of ISS, international admissions will be sending you emails about all of these official processes to make sure that you arrive in the United States smoothly. And so some of these emails are super important. So we want to make sure those don't get buried under all of the other emails that are likely going to your personal email. That's one of the main reasons we recommend not forwarding all of your UW emails into your personal email and instead viewing them through a UW specific email address. And so that'll be either through Outlook or Gmail. Another reason, and this is looking a little bit into the future, is that it's just good professional practice overall to have your work emails in one address and then all of your personal emails in another address. I also want to mention now that you can only choose one place to send these emails to. For example, if you sent your email, if you chose Gmail as your place where you want to view all of your emails, that email will not go anywhere else. You can't see it from Outlook, and you won't be able to see it from your personal email. Similarly, another reason why we don't recommend using your personal email is that if you choose your personal email, that email can only go to your personal email address and will not be available for you to view through your UW Gmail or your UW Outlook, which means, say a professor sends you an email, right, and it goes to your personal Gmail, you won't actually be able to reply to that email using your at uw.edu address. You will only be able to reply to that email through your personal email address. And for one, if you want to communicate with professors, generally they take higher priority in emails that are directly coming from your at uw.edu address, because then they're certain that this email is actually coming from a UW student. And so that's another important reason why we don't recommend using your personal email for official university communication. So for the reasons of professionalism, for the reasons of better communication with professors, we recommend strongly you don't forward emails to your personal email and instead get in the habit of forwarding emails to either Microsoft Outlook or Gmail, its own dedicated school email account. Okay, moving on to our second technology. Let's talk about 2FA and Duo. 2FA stands for two-factor authentication. What that means is there's two pieces of information the system needs from you in order for you to access your account. Say you only had a password protecting your UW account, right? Passwords can be guessed, passwords can be stolen, passwords can be lost, so on and so forth. And so if you only have a password protecting your UW NetID account, sometimes that might not be enough. And so, as of a few years ago, it is required for all UW internet and browser applications that anytime you're signing in using your UW NetID, you have to go through two-factor authentication. You must provide two pieces of information to the UW NetID system for them to allow you into the system overall so that you're fully authenticated as you logging in. And the second piece of information is something called Duo. It is on your phone, and it is a button you have to press. And so it is an additional layer of security for your UW account. So, to recap, in addition to the first piece of information will be your password. So you must type in your password. And then the UW NetID system will prompt you to tap your phone. And then when you tap your phone, that's the second piece of information that the UW NetID portal expects from you. With these two pieces of information, UW NetID system is very confident that you are, in fact, you logging into the system. And so if you click this link right here, it'll go to an enrollment guide for Duo. So if we look at what this link entails, this provides detailed instructions about how to set up Duo. Duo is an app, and basically every time that you try to log in to a UW system, the UW NetID system will automatically send you what's called a push notification onto the Duo app. and it'll show up as a green check mark. And all you have to do is to push that check mark, and then everything will be fine. You can log into the system with no problem. If you follow this link right here, identity.uw.edu/2fa, you can change the different ways the system will send you those notifications. And so for me personally, I have it set to push right now. So basically, every time I want to log into any UW service, it'll send me a push notification. I push the green check mark, and everything will be wonderful. However, there are other options too. So say you can have the system call you. It'll actually ring your phone, and if you prefer that, you can use that as well. Or you can have the UW system prompt you for a passcode, so a second password on your phone. And then also, if you want to change your device, say you lose a phone, or you buy a new phone, or you want to change from your phone to your tablet, this is where you would do that as well. You can change your 2FA device through identity.uw.edu/2FA. Now let's talk about these two very powerful tools. The first we'll talk about is MyUW. You can think of it as the central hub for all things student related. Anything related to your Husky experience, aside from maybe HFS, can be found through MyUW, whether that's course registration, whether that's information about your academic advisor, whether that's information about your schedule, so on and so forth. Your tuition, everything is through MyUW. And so be sure to keep that in mind. Number one. Number two, anytime we talk about courses, that is MyPlan. MyPlan is UW's course registration programs. And so anytime you want to look up a course, you want to find more information about a course, you want to know more about the professor, the syllabus, the content, the requirements of that course, all of that is through UW MyPlan. So let's talk about MyUW real quick. And so this is what the homepage looks like. Right here, it'll tell you what week we're in. It'll tell you your school schedule right here. If you click this tab, it'll tell you your final schedule. You have all your helpful links. You can check your grades. You can check MyPlan. You can access your financial aid. There's so many links on this website, and everything is central to your Husky experience. Over the course of this summer, and especially as you start actually coming to classes, be sure you familiarize yourself with all the different links and this system specifically. There are two pieces of information I want to note right off the bat. And one is if you're looking for your academic advisor's contact information, that is available if you click the Academics tab on the left-hand side here. The second piece of information that's very important is if you hit your profile, you can change your preferred name, your address, and your phone number. This right here is doubly important for international students because ISS requires you to perform that task, requires you to enter preferred name, your local address, and a phone number for them to reach out to you when you get here. And so it'll be part of your post-arrival checklist. If you don't do that, they can give you a registration hold, which is a little bit scary. But overall, keep in mind that if you want to change your preferred name and your address and your phone number, hitting profile is the way to go. Let's talk about course registration now. And there's two primary ways UW students register for courses. The first is through using SLN codes. And so this one, if you first look up your course that you're looking for in MyPlan, this SLN is unique to every single course, and it is how you can register for courses. So once you find your course in MyPlan, you can copy and paste the SLN code into register for SLN codes right here. And so if you click on this, register for SLN codes, it'll take you to a page where you can input these SLN codes to register for your classes. After you input those codes, you hit update schedule, and just like that, you'll be registered for your classes. Be sure every time you update your schedule to look for this green check mark, because if you see this green check mark with schedule updated, that means that you have been successfully registered for those courses that you wanted. If not, then you'll have to take different actions. Before we go into common errors, there's a button right here that allows you to display your visual schedule. So sometimes it can be very hard to fit in your brain what exactly your day-to-day schedule looks like. But by clicking this, you can see a visual display of what your day-to-day schedule will look like on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so on and so forth basis, and what time you'll be going to classes, where those classes are, so on and so forth. These are some common issues students can run into when registering for courses. And so, say you input your SLN code, and this website right here doesn't show the green check mark. Instead, it comes back to you with an error. Some of those errors can be, for example, if you go to MyPlan and you click on the SLN code right here, it'll take you to a page that displays notes related to the course. And so, for instance, a course can have a note that says, no freshmen allowed, which means if you are of freshman standing, you actually cannot register for that class through traditional means. And for that reason, the SLN website will bounce your course registration and not allow you to register for that course. Or, for example, you can have a course that's only available to first year interest groups or FIGs. And if you're not enrolled in a FIG, you won't be able to register for that section of the course. And so those are just common things to look out for. Overall, if you want to know more information about a course, you can go to UW MyPlan, click on the SLN, and find out more information that way. My plan is also powerful because right here, under each and every course, there is a View More Details page, and that'll tell you more information about what the registration requirements for that course will be. For instance, you can have a box that tells you that there are spots in this course that are held specifically for transfer students. And so if you are not a transfer student, you will not be able to register for that course. Or UW has its own registration periods or specific time intervals where they allow specific groups of students to register for a course. For example, as you can see in this box right here, during period 1, only students who are actually psychology majors are allowed to register for a certain course. And then as registration periods pass, as time passes, they allow more students to register for that course. So these are all details to keep in mind, and you can find all of these details either by hitting View More Details or by clicking on the SLN itself. This is what the homepage of MyPlan looks like. The main button you're interested in right here is Find Courses. That's where you'll find the search bar, where you can view all the courses that UW has to offer for the upcoming quarters. The other thing that we'll talk about in just a second, that's also a very, very powerful tool, is called DARS, or Degree Audit, and we'll get into that later. Let's talk about Find Courses for now. And so, say you're interested in finding courses. After you choose the Seattle campus, you can type in any keyword related to the course that you're interested in. Say that you're interested in finding a math course, and you type in math. All of the courses related to math will pop up right there for you. And then here, if you click on any of these courses, you can find the information that we were just talking about. This page will show up, and you can find which time slots are available for that specific course, and then you can find all of this additional information after you click on that course. You can find it by clicking on the SLN or View More Details. And so that is how you will find any course that you're interested in. The other very important aspect of my plan that I wanted to talk about today was DARS, where you can check your degree requirements. And so through DARS, you can enter any program, any degree that's offered here at the UW, whether it can be a major, a minor. If you punch in that degree into DARS, it'll show you all the different degree requirements that are necessary to graduate with that degree. Not only that, it will also show you which requirements of those you already have and which requirements you have yet to complete. So it is a powerful, powerful tool to gauge which courses you will need to complete a major and also how much progress you've already made in that direction. So again, those are two main things I want to talk about today. One is the Find Courses on my plan. The other is DARS. There's actually a second method to register for classes. We talked about earlier that you can register through entering SLN codes into the SLN website. But the second way is you can actually send all of your courses through MyPlan. And so, how to do that? There are a couple steps. First, say you found a section that you really like. Say you really want to be registered into section A here. You can click this check mark right here to add it to your plan. But keep that in mind. Adding it to your plan does not mean you are registered for the course. That'll be another button. But it adds it to the list of courses that you can send to the actual course registration site through MyPlan. And then you can go, if you click on your quarter, you can preview all the courses that you've selected. Say you select several courses, and after adding all of your courses to your plan for the quarter, you can preview all of those courses together through this page. After you add all your courses and you click on this registration preview here, this is how the website will display. You'll have all the courses that you've added to your plan for this quarter, as well as any courses that you're already registered for. And then down here, this yellow button, send to registration. That is how you will formally register any and all courses that you've already input into your MyPlan. Before we move on, I want to mention a quick error right now. Let me paint a picture for you first. So each quarter, you will be registering for courses next quarter, right? And each quarter, course registration happens at 6 a.m. in the morning. So especially for competitive courses, you do want to get up exactly at 6 a.m. or even a few minutes before to be sure to submit your courses at exactly 6 a.m. So sometimes, if not all of your courses go through, or if one of your courses is full by the time you register, not everything will go through at once. If you have any errors in your course registration, none of your courses will go through. But what you can do is you can remove the SLN code, or here in MyPlan, you can uncheck the course that is in error and send the rest of your courses through. Remember, at 6 a.m., when everyone is trying to fight for classes, you can choose and pick which courses that will actually succeed in MyPlan that are not full yet. Be sure you grab those courses first before worrying about changing your section for other courses that are currently full. Okay, moving on to our fourth piece of technology. Let's talk about Google Suite. And so Google Suite is available to you as a UW student. And so if you use Gmail before, you're already somewhat familiar with these tools. But through UW, by being a UW student, there is an entirely separate account connected to your UW Net ID that's available to you through Google. And so one thing that I really like personally is if you just make a normal Gmail, you only have 15 gigabytes of storage. But for your UW Gmail, you have 100 gigabytes of storage, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing. These are some of the Google tools that are available to you through Google Suite. There's Google Drive for storing and collaborating with different files. There's Google Docs, that's your standard Word doc or your text document. There's Google Slides for presentations, Google Sheets for spreadsheets, and Google Forms for surveys, so on and so forth. It's a powerful suite of tools that's available to you as a UW student. So be sure you set that up. Moving on to part 5. So as a UW student, there are also lots of free software that are available to you. And so we can click this link and find out. So this is a link to all the free software that is available to you as a UW student. And some of them are truly powerful. And so let's take a look, for instance, right? Here you have different filters. On the left-hand side, you can filter by platform. Say you use a Mac computer. These are all the different ones that are available to you. You can also filter by your major or by what you're looking for. Say you're interested in finding software that's available to you that can be used for mathematics classes. Well, we have Mathematica that's available, as well as MATLAB. So depending on your course, you can get these free software from UW directly without having to pay for it, which is a wonderful thing. And this list is quite expansive. And so for the majority of things, say there's SolidWorks for engineering classes. Um, there's the Microsoft suite for all the Microsoft tools that you can use. So this is a very expansive list of all the software that's available to you. And so be sure you check this list out when you get here and when you're trying to look for different software you'll need for your respective classes. In addition, in addition to free software, there are also perks available to you as a UW student. And so we call this the whole U. They're an organization that works to create more benefits for both staff and students. And so if you just type in the whole U UW somewhere on Google, right? This comes up right here. And you'll see this web page. And if you go to their discounts page, it looks like this. This is a cohesive list of benefits and discounts that are available to you as a student. For example, You can also filter this by categories. Say you're interested in buying a new laptop. Say somehow your laptop breaks or it becomes too old for you. You can go to computers and electronics and say you're interested in buying a new MacBook, right? The Apple Store in U District, this will be in Uville, has a specific discount that's available to you as a student. I believe it's 5%, if I'm not mistaken. If you use your UW Net ID or if you just show your UW ID at the Apple Store, or if you're making an online purchase, that will be available through your UW Net ID. And they're much, much more than this. Aside from computers and electronics, there's food discounts. I think there's a boba shop on the app that's there's like a 10% discount that's included through this list. If you're looking at different discounts for technology, for event tickets, for food, be sure to browse this list. It doesn't hurt. Say you're trying to go somewhere or you're interested in a boba shop or a restaurant on the app. You can always punch it in. It doesn't hurt to double check.